If you're looking to buy an apartment building in the city of Gold, well, look no further than downtown Johannesburg. Two apartment blocks at 98 and 102 Becker Street are going under the hammer next month. And guess what? You can buy them for as little as R500,000 each, but there's a really big catch. You will have to deal with the current non-paying tenants and self-appointed landlords. To discuss this further, we're joined now by the man behind the sale. Guy Dowding is a real estate agent at High Street Auctions. Guy, a good morning to you. Thank you so much for speaking to us. This is the ultimate high-risk, high-reward investment, isn't it? Because things really could go horribly wrong. Just set the scene for us and what it is that we're essentially looking at.
Wonderful. Thanks, Naledi. Thanks for having me. So basically, we are taking two buildings that obviously, as you mentioned, have non-paying tenants. We transact in these types of properties on a monthly basis. From High Street Auctions, we host multi-property auctions once a month. And it's a mixture of retail, commercial, industrial, residential assets, and similar type buildings like 98 and 102 Becker Street. These are privately owned buildings. The sellers have, on many occasions, exercised their rights in order to evict such tenants and have been dealing with Joburg Council, dealing with excessive water and electricity charges, but unfortunately have fell short and have chosen now to look to High Street to assist them with disposing of these assets.
Yeah, I'm interested in hearing some of the frustrations that the owners selling have had to deal with then with these tenants and what they've tried to do to get rid of them.
Yeah, so with these sellers, it was an inheritance and they are not really based in Joburg, so it was quite difficult for them to drive the application, through the legal means. They have approached Joburg on multiple occasions where they have disconnected their electricity and water meters only to find out that somehow the non-paying tenants or slumlords, should we say, have made a plan with which to reconnect these services, which obviously doesn't do well for the current owners, as the accounts are registered in their company names and are driving up massive costs associated to obviously electricity and water, even though Joburg has come on many occasions and cemented or closed off these connections. They've obviously managed to reconnect, which is quite troubling.
Yeah, I mean, if we are optimistic and, we have an investor perhaps who's keen to buy perhaps one of those buildings for that very cheap R500,000, the processes that they would then have to follow if they want to reap the rewards in terms of dealing with the people that have hijacked the buildings, what does that look like?
So what's quite nice, obviously, driving this through High Street Auctions, one of the positives of this first is that any arrears in the rates and taxes levies against the properties will be settled by the seller to effect transfer of the properties. So effectively, the new owners, whoever does buy them, will get a clean slate in terms of their municipal accounts. The downside of this is they are responsible for the evictions of such tenants should they wish. As far as I know, this process can obviously be done on different levels. The legal route, obviously, the best way to go about this, and I'd said to believe that it could cost in the region of about 200 to 300,000 rand to follow this process through the courts.
Yeah, and have you had any interest?
Lots of interest, plenty interest. There really is. Look, at these kind of assets, it's not for everyone. I think it does take a certain skill set and know how to effectively make these or turn these properties around. But definitely a lot of interest. They're definitely going to go for a good price. Both buildings attract a 500,000 rand opening bid, which I think that we will far exceed. For argument's sake, the same owners have 4 stands behind these buildings, and each one of those stands respectively have achieved 500,000 rand each fairly recently. So I think with obviously improved stands, these blocks have 10 flats each, I believe that they could surpass the 1 million rand mark very easily. Yeah. But, it is an auction. So it could go either way.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see who takes up that risk, Guy. Thank you so much for speaking to us, and have yourself a great day. That's Guy.